Welcome to Story Focus. Here, stories come to life. We journey through captivating tales together. Whether you're here to relax, learn, or escape into another world, there's a story waiting for you. Let's dive in. In one way, Parmenides and Heraclitus were direct opposite of each other. Parmenides' reason made it clear that nothing would change. Heraclitus' sense perceptions made it equally clear that nature was in a constant state of change. Which of them was right? Should we let reason dictate or should we rely on our sense? Parmenides and Heraclitus both say two things. Parmenides says that nothing can change and that our sensory perception must therefore be unreliable. Heraclitus, on the other hand, say that everything changes and that our sensory perceptions are reliable. Philosophers could hardly disagree more than that, but who was right? It fell to Empedocles from Sicily to lead the way out of the tangle they had gotten themselves into. He thought they were both right in one of their assertions, but wrong in the other. Empedocles found that the cause of their basic disagreement was that both philosophers had assumed the presence of only one element. If this were true, the gap between what reason dictates and what we can see with our own eyes would be unbreachable. Water obviously cannot turn into a fish or a butterfly. In fact, water cannot change. Pure water will continue to be pure water. So Parmenides was right in holding that nothing changes. But at the same time, Empedocles agreed with Heraclitus that we must trust evidence of our sense. We must believe what we see. And what we see is precisely that nature changes. Empedocles concluded that was the idea of a single basic substance that had to be rejected. Neither water nor air alone can change into a rosebud or a butterfly. The source of nature cannot possibly be one single element. Empedocles believed that, all in all, nature consisted of four elements, or roots as he termed them. These four roots were earth, air, fire, and water. Natural processes were due to the coming together and spreading of these four elements. For all things were a mixture of earth, air, fire, and water. But in fire or ocean, when a flower or an animal dies, he said, the four elements separate again. We can register these changes with the naked eye. But earth and air, fire and water remain everlasting, untouched by all the components of which they are part. So it is not correct to say that everything changes. Basically, nothing changes. What happens is that the four elements are combined and separate, only to be combined again. We can make a comparison to painting. If a painter only has one color, red, for instance, he cannot paint green trees. But if he has yellow, red, blue, and black, he can paint with hundreds of different colors because he can mix them in varying proportions. An example from the kitten illustrates the same thing. If I only have flour, I have to be a wizard to bake cake. But if I have eggs, salt, milk, and sugar, then I can make any number of different cakes. It was not purely by chance that Empedocles chose earth, air, fire, and water as nature's roots. Other philosophers before him had tried to show that the primordial substance had to be either water, air, or fire. Thales and Nismans had pointed out that both water and air were essential elements in the physical world. The Greeks believed that fire was also essential. They observed, for example, the importance of the sun to all living things, and they also knew that both animals and humans have body head. Empedocles might have watched a piece of wood burning. Something disintegrates. We hear it crackle and splatter. There is water, something goes up in smoke. There is air, the fire we can see. Something also remains when the fire is extinguished. That is the ashes or earth. After Empedocles' clarification of nature transformations as the combination and dissolution of the four roots, something still remains to be explained. What makes these elements combine so that new life can occur? And what makes the mixture of, say, a flower dissolve again? Empedocles believed that there were two different forces at work in nature. He called them love and strife. Love binds things together and strife separates them. He distinguished between substance and force. This is words, nothing. Even today, scientists distinguish between elements and natural force. Modern science holds that all natural processes can be explained as the interaction between different elements and various natural forces. Empedocles also raised the question of what happens when we perceive something. How can I see a flower, for example? What is it that happens? Have you ever thought about it, Sophie? Empedocles believed that the eyes consist of earth, air, fire, and water, just like everything else in nature. So the earth in my eye perceives what is of the earth in my surroundings. The air perceives what is of the air. The fire perceives what is of fire, and the water what is of water. Had my eyes lacked any of the four substances, I will not have seen all of nature.